Again, we are coming to you from the Newsfeed Cafe at the Boston Public Library. Next up on Beat the Press, from the outset, conspiracy theories about a murdered DNC staffer's alleged ties to WikiLeaks never held much water. Fox News ran the story back in May and quickly retracted it. Now one of the people at the center of the debunked narrative is suing the network. It's a theory that was catnip for fans of President Trump.
If it was true that Seth Rich gave WikiLeaks the DNC emails, wouldn't that blow the whole Russia collusion narrative that the media has been pushing out of the water?
But this Fox News story linking the murdered DNC staffer to WikiLeaks didn't hold up. Fox retracted it a week later, citing a lack of editorial scrutiny. Now, a lawsuit from one of the story's key sources says he was deliberately misquoted and suggests the story was crafted with guidance from the White House.
I do believe I was used as a pawn in this entire thing.
Private investigator Rod Wheeler was hired by Trump supporter Ed Butowski to investigate Rich's death. Wheeler says they met with then White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer to discuss their research, and that Butowski claimed the president himself was in the loop.
I got to note that we have the full attention of the White House on this.
Spicer acknowledges that meeting, but says he's unaware of any contact between Butowski and the president. For his part, Butowski now says the claim that President Trump saw the story before its release was made in jest.
When you say the president just read the article, that was a joke.
Right.
That's funny. How?
You've written text messages. Nowadays, I'm not going to write any text messages.
It's worth noting that despite Wheeler's claims now, he helped push the story at the time.
Perhaps there were some email communications between Seth and WikiLeaks.
In a statement to NPR, Fox News says there's no concrete evidence that Wheeler was misquoted. Seth Rich's parents also issued a statement. We are hopeful that this brings an end to what has been the most emotionally difficult time in our lives. I'm not sure that Wheeler is the most sympathetic litigant, but that doesn't mean that his claims aren't true, especially if he's got the documentation to back him up. Dan, what do you think?
Well, I think Margaret Sullivan of the Washington Post put it best, where she said, it doesn't matter whether Rod Wheeler is sympathetic or not. It's that he has said so many things that we just don't know what parts of this to believe and what parts not to believe. But, you know, it just seems like every day we're hit with 2 or 3 major stories involving the Trump administration, and it's so hard to know which ones to focus on and which ones not to focus on. But this seems like one of those stories that could percolate along for a while and turn into something much bigger. I mean, we've been talking about collusion for months. Well, this looks like, at least the allegations are, a major case of collusion between the Trump White House and Fox News to perpetrate what was essentially a hoax. I should say that's what the allegation in the lawsuit is, but this could really turn into something very big.
I think it's important to know that this has been a huge story. Not just one, not just two, not just 1 week, not just 2 weeks, months, days, 24 hours of pushing this story on Fox. It's not it's a simple matter of just saying, oops, made a mistake. This family has suffered. The police in Washington, speaking of the police, have said over and over, this was a botched murder case. Period. Now, if you choose not to believe them, okay, but at least take a minute and come up with some new evidence to dispute that if you don't believe it. This thing has been riding on Fox. This is huge. It's disgusting. It's one of the pieces that we need to point to as in this whole divide of fake news and parallel lives of what people see over here and what they don't see here. So this suit, therefore, is huge in how it's going to be played out, both on Fox, whether they like it or not, and in the rest of the media.
And in addition to what Kelly just mentioned, we should note that this reporter is still working for Fox, still creating content.
This is the echoingest of echo chambers, right? This is a Fox News contributor, Dallas investor, who hired a Fox News contributor, former homicide investigator, to prove a conspiracy theory that's been pushed by Fox News, and they gave the story to a Fox News investigative reporter. I mean, it makes everybody look bad, but it makes Fox News look really bad.
I want the quotes in investigative reporter.
Okay.
And Shep Smith of Fox said a long time ago, not facts. This is not a story. So, and he's on Fox, so go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, I think Dan's point is right. I think if anything gets at the whole idea about corroboration with or collaboration somehow with the hand of misinformation from Russia, this gets close to that.
But this isn't about Russia. This is the White House.
But it is about Russia. It is about Russia in that the whole point of pushing this story out there was to suggest that Seth Rich was the source of the WikiLeaks information that helped torpedo Hillary Clinton's campaign. And that plays right in with the whole idea that there were other hands at work in an effort to help Donald Trump. What is a financier and Fox contributor and Trump supporter from Dallas, Texas doing interfering in a murder investigation anyway? The whole thing just is outrageous. I don't know where you start.
It's pretty macabre.
I do want to add that Rod Wheeler was hoping to become a regular on Fox. So you might want to believe him now that he's mad because he didn't get that opportunity. So he does have some information that he might not have shared otherwise.
And he claimed that he was blocked from advancement, among other things, because he was African American.
And Julian Assange has popped up in this as well to say that to kind of bolster the idea that maybe this came from Seth Rich. I mean, it's just you can't make this up.
Very tangled.
Although somebody may have made it up.